So, good afternoon. I hope you guys are ready for part 2 of the home buying process. So we're going to, as we get into the slides, please unmute if you have a question, because I know a number of you have indicated that one of your financial goals is to purchase a home of your own, and I want to be able to help you do that to the extent that I can. So if you have any questions, feel free to raise them. So we're picking up off of the last slide that you had under part 1 of the home buying process. And you can get, as Juanita has indicated, any of the slides that we've done with the San Diego Housing Commission. So don't worry about that. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. Buying a home. Slide 2.
Are you there, Avery?
Yeah, you put it up. So are you giving me this again? Because I came.
No, I got it. I got it for you.
Okay.
I have a question.
Sure.
I'm working from home, so I'm multitasking while I'm watching the Zoom.
Okay.
I put it on mute, but did you guys hear any of the noise that was going on my
I
end?
haven't heard anything. I think
Perfect,
so.
thank you.
Can't hear anything. You can go ahead and start, Avery.
You didn't hear me?
No.
Oh, okay. I had started. You can hear me now though?
Yes, I can hear you.
So, I was telling everybody earlier that, we did do part 1 the last time we were together, and that the video is available and the PowerPoint is available for them. So we're going to start and kick off on part 2. I just need them, if they have any questions, to unmute so that they can ask me any questions. So let's go to slide 2.
Do you see it?
No, ma'am.
You can't see the slide?
I can see slide 1, but I can't see 2.
Oh,
I
God.
can't see 2 either.
All right.
Can you put it on PowerPoint mode, Juanita?
It is, but I think I need to reshare.
Okay, stop it. Yeah, you could stop it and then reshare.
Okay. If you can't, I have it too, and I can bring it out.
Well, do you want to bring it up, Ivory? And
let me try.
Have control over it.
Yeah, let me try and see what happens. Okay. All right. Can everybody see it?
No.
Okay, give me a second, because I'm going to try to let me go back out. Yeah, I might have to come out. Let's see. Okay, give me a second. Go back to home. Here, and do this. Okay.
I still can't see the PowerPoint.
Yeah, give me a minute. I'm gonna try to.
Yeah, she's working on it right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to share. Okay, I found it.
Yeah, you share.
Okay, give me a second. Give me a second.
There you go. There you go. Now you want to put it on.
Yeah. One more second and let's see if we can do it there. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Yes,
All
Yes.
right.
Yes. Yeah. Thank
Girl
you.
power. Okay.
we got this.
Yeah, we got this. All right. So the first thing you should know if you're going to get a home, that there are different types of mortgages that you can actually enter into with a mortgage lender. The first being a fixed rate mortgage. And with a fixed rate mortgage, it means just what it says. It's fixed, which means it will never change. Whether you get a 15-year mortgage, a 30-year mortgage, that rate that you got from the lender, let's just say right now, I think the going rate, and Miss Juanita can correct me, but I think the going rate right now is about 2 to 3% for buying a home, purchasing a
Correct.
home. That
Mhm.
mortgage is going to stay the same over the term of your mortgage loan. By term, we simply mean the length of time that you're paying down your mortgage. The next type of product is an adjustable rate mortgage. Now, what I will tell you is that I like for most people who are purchasing for the first time a home that they use that fixed rate mortgage because you need, some certainty, right? So you know how much your mortgage payment is every month. But there are a few instances where an adjustable rate mortgage might be appropriate for you. For instance, let's say that you have you're in a ladder at work, and when you started off, you were making $15,000 a year, but you know that because you're in that ladder, once you get your next rating, you're going to be at $20,000 or $25,000 a year. You might be a candidate for the ARM, the adjustable rate mortgage, just to get in. And then, you might be able to sustain the mortgage because you're under a program where your income is going to steadily continue. Okay. One of the other reasons could be maybe you are getting married the following year, and your husband is, he's taking care of some debt or something. But as soon as he finishes, you're both going to be paying on the mortgage, so you can handle a little uptick in your mortgage. You really want to work with your realtor to see if the ARM is for you. Again, most first time home buyers should be taking that fixed rate mortgage. So let's go to the next slide. So this is telling you what it is. The fixed rate mortgage, as I mentioned earlier, the interest rate does not change. You pay the same amount each month unless your property taxes or your home insurance goes up. Now, that will happen once you become a homeowner. You can count on those happening. You don't know when they're going to happen, but usually the amount that's increased is not that much. It could be 30, $40 or something like that, but it's not that much. The mortgage company does not control that, nor do we. Your property taxing authority controls the property taxes, as you know, and your insurance company that actually insures your house from a disaster, a hurricane, or a fire, or something like that. The Allstates, the State Farms, those types of companies, they'll sometimes go up over a few years as well. So just be mindful of that. The fixed rate would be a good choice if interest rates are low, as they are today, and if you plan to keep the mortgage for a long time. Okay, let's go to any questions about that at all, about the mortgages?
Yes, I do.
Yes, Miss Medina. Yes, ma'am.
Um, if if you want on the fixed rate, if you want to pay more towards the principal, can you do that with that kind of fixed rate mortgage, or is that only in the ARM?
Yeah, so you can at any time, unless the mortgage company shares with you, and you're a smart lady, you're going to read everything, I'm sure you understand it. Yes, you can certainly pay if there isn't a clause that is a penalty for you paying off. But today, that rarely do we see that. So I'm going to say probably 90% or better of the time, you won't have a problem paying the loan off early. In fact, I practice this, and I usually recommend to people, when you're initiating your mortgage loan with your mortgage lender, that as you get to the closing piece, ask them, if you want to pay it off early, ask them if if they can withdraw your monthly mortgage payment from your approved checking account every pay period. If you get paid every 2 weeks, it's a good plan to let the lender take that payment out every 2 weeks when you get paid. You can do it yourself if you want. People are not that disciplined, but pay an additional payment. So did that answer your question, Ms. Medina?
It sure did. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Okay, let's go to the next slide. The adjustable rate mortgage, as we discussed earlier, is an interest rate that may start low and then it gradually increases. I had one at one time, I think it was like 2%, and the next year it may increase or it may not increase. Most often it increases, but it depends on what's happening in the market, meaning the housing market as well as the stock markets. And this one that I had, it could only increase no more than 2 percentage points each time. So you have to read the fine print to find out when that loan may or may not uh, change. That's the adjust, as we would say. Um, the loan is going to adjust on predetermined dates, or as you see here, it says tied to an index. That's what I was talking about earlier. So you want to stay on top of it. It may be a good choice if you plan to keep the mortgage just for a short period of time. You're just trying to get in that house. You got a job. You're only going to be with that company for 2 or 3 years. And so you're comfortable paying the lower interest rate because you know you're not going to be in that mortgage for any length of time. It's also good if you can afford paying more interest if rates increase. So that's why I was mentioning earlier, if you know you're going to get that next job is already lined up for you, or that next promotion, you may want to use this if only if you can't get a fixed rate loan. All right. Next slide is rate is a little self-explanatory. All we're saying here is that when you go out to get a mortgage or you start looking for mortgages, you guys may remember the last time we were together, I talked to you about different types of websites that provided the mortgage interest rates for different companies. And when you go out to buy a home, you most certainly should take the time to find either in the newspaper, your local newspaper, or online, like a bankrate.com. I use them often and I have a decade, and see what lender is offering. Lenders are going to have different rates and they change daily, even sometimes hourly, depending on what's happening in the market. And so what you want to do, you should lock it in as quickly as you can. All right. So remember that. So that's what we mean by rate lock. You're locking that interest rate in because you know a lot of people are going to want it, and that's the one that you want. Um, the rate lock means the interest rate won't change during that period. A lot of times your rate lock periods can be either 30 days, 45 days, 60 days, and may even longer, maybe 90 days. The thing that you want to focus in on is that you have the interest rate that you want for the length of your mortgage. And so you will make the decision along with your realtor and others as to how long you need the rate lock, because maybe your lender is really behind on mortgage loan applications and 30 days is not going to be enough for them. So you would not want the 30-day rate lock, because that means that if you guys didn't get it done within 30, get your loan finished and signed within 30 days, that means you've lost that particular interest rate that you really, really wanted. So make sure you have an idea when you select the mortgage interest rate that's good, that you can tell that lender how long you need the rate lock period to be. And a lot of times they will work with you. Any questions? Okay, let's go to the
I have a
next slide.
question.
Oh, sure, go ahead.
Will this be available, your PowerPoints, or do we need to take notes? I mean,
Oh, the PowerPoints will be available, but I would ask you to take notes on things that you don't see on the screen. So like I mentioned, a really good place for finding rates in general, not just for mortgage interest rates, but for bank rates and how much you can get for your savings account and checking accounts and things like that. Bankrate.com is full of very good, reputable information, and they basically highlight the best options out there for us. So something like bankrate.com, you may want to make as a note. But in terms of the
great,
presentation,
sure.
Ms. Juanita will share it with you.
I put it into the
Thank
chat
you.
box for everyone to look
Okay.
at. So I put it in both
Thank you so much.
options.
Great.
It's bankrate.com or www.bankrate.com. And we are recording this, so I
Yep.
will send anyone who's interested a copy of the recording.
Perfect. Thank you. And thanks for that question. That was a good question. So let's talk about balloon payments. I personally would recommend, and I'm going to treat you guys like your family, I would recommend that you try
Yeah, you
to
keep
steer
coming in
away
and
from
out.
long, you end up having the long term. Now, I am?
You're
Okay.
cutting out a lot.
Wow. I don't know what's causing it. I'm not.
It's okay.
doing
It's all right.
anything.
Just we'll just keep working with it.
Okay, let me know if it could be the internet service or something, but
Okay.
can you just let me know when I need to
Will
go
do.
over something again? Okay.
Yeah.
So the thing I was going to say to some of you may have encountered this with a car loan. I had a colleague that had a car loan, and her husband used a balloon payment. They got a loan with a balloon payment. And I would say, I try to tell people to steer away from these. You don't know by the time you get closer to the end of your loan what your financial status is going to be. And you don't know that you will have the money to pay off that big balloon payment, which is usually pretty hefty. So I usually tell people stay away from it, whether you're buying a car or a home. But even if you decide to do this, is at least you know what it is. Make sure you fully read the information so you understand the penalties associated with not being able to pay that balloon payment at the end. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. A conventional mortgage. A conventional mortgage, you generally need to have a credit history that lenders consider good. Can anybody tell me the name of one of the most popular credit scoring companies that lenders look to see how well we pay our payments? Miss Medina?
Equifax?
Equifax, but what about that score itself? Not just the
FICO?
history. Yes, the FICO, very good. Yes, FICO. And so lenders need not just your FICO score, which basically helps them to know whether or not you are likely to pay your loans on time and regularly as scheduled. They're going to look at your income. They're going to look at your income, and they're likely going to focus on your net income. That's what you bring home. They're going to look at your debt to income ratio within acceptable limits to make sure that you're not too far in debt that it might harm you and unable you to make your mortgage payment.
You're
And
cutting.
the main thing they're going to focus on is, so this is one of my favorite ones. Can you hear me now? I saw something flash.
Yeah, I
Okay.
said you were cutting in and out
So
again.
this is one of my favorite. Yeah, it's talking about the internet connection, but I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, just keep
let's
working with it,
keep-
and then if it cuts off, we'll figure out something, but right now, just let's go with it.
Okay, all right. So the down payment, I want to share with you all is really about you want to think about ways that you can save money when you get your income tax refund for the next tax season, when you get if we get another stimulus package. I would encourage you to save those to have a decent down payment. Those lump sums that you get that you really hadn't planned for, likely, they can help you over the hump. Did that make any sense?
Yes. What
Yeah.
is money first? Conventional mortgage with money first.
Conventional mortgage money first. I don't know what that is.
I don't know. I seen that on something, but I was just curious. I was going to ask if you knew or heard about that.
Okay, no, I haven't. What I would tell you is when you go out to bankrate.com, you may want to be a little skeptical.
Yeah,
Does that
what you may
help,
want to also do
Ms.
is
Mendez?
send me a
Okay.
copy of whatever you're looking at, and then I can review it.
That's an even better idea.
Okay, thank you.
That's an even better idea. Okay, so let's go to jumbo loan mortgages. So a jumbo loan is a mortgage of a certain amount of money. So I haven't stayed in touch with them, but usually, and Miss Juanita may be able to help me, they usually over maybe 250. Is it still that today? 250 or 300 grand.
In California.
Oh, but that's right, you guys in a different place.
Yeah, in California, we're talking about 450 to 500 for an average.
Okay, that's what you guys in it. Okay. All right. That the jumbo loan is 450 to 500, Miss Juanita.
The jumbo loan goes up to, I think it's 675.
Okay, so the jumbo loan is 675, but the regular loan is anything under 6.
Correct.
Okay, gotcha. All right. So that's good information. So the jumbo loan, mortgage is above a certain amount. So Ms. Juanita has indicated the amount for the area in which you guys reside. The jumbo loan is really there for people that are buying really expensive big homes in areas that have a high cost for housing. And so you almost fit in that category, really. The second mortgage, sometimes people will get a first mortgage, but then to supply additional financing beyond the first, they get a second. I'm usually not comfortable with this, but sometimes when you're building a home straight out, they work with you and you might have uh, uh, a loan for them building the home and then another loan tied to the mortgage. Next slide. These are my favorite, obviously. One, not just because I work for the federal government, but because I've used the product and VA over the years for about a decade or more on policy in the government guaranteed loan space. And so with the US Department of Housing and Urban Development has what is known as a Federal Housing Administration. Many of you may have heard it as FHA. And with FHA, you will get a loan that has a lower requirement for your down payment amount, as well as for the points that you pay. You will have also a lower payment likely on your insurance. So you have to pay a mortgage insurance premium, but you pay it to the FHA every month as a part of your mortgage. And the other thing that I love about the FHA is if you find yourself in trouble, if you're in a low to moderate income category, there are what we refer to as loss mitigation programs that you can use to get a loan mod or some help from the lender to keep you in the home, because the FHA is there for people with low to moderate income. The United States Department of Agriculture has a similar product for people who live in rural areas. And obviously the Department of Veteran Affairs has an even better product for people who are or have been or are in the military. And some of their loans, they don't need any money at all down because they serve to take care of us, right? So other assistance, you may have a local state finance agency or somewhere like that in your area, or even like the San Diego Housing Co. But there are different types of down payment assistance programs. Closing cost assistance, there are programs also that will provide a certain percentage of closing costs. There are different first-time home buyer programs. When we at the FHA acquire homes as a result of a foreclosure, we oftentimes will sell those homes back to a first-time home buyer, giving them a opportunity to purchase that home before others get a chance to purchase, just because they are first-time home buyer. And then sometimes we may even wrap around something for them, like you can purchase it at with $1,000 down, and we will allow you, as long as you can get a mortgage, to buy the home. So you just have to investigate. You can go online to fha.gov and type in first-time homebuyer programs. Also, we have our help for people in specific professions. There are certain professions like teachers and things like that where there's a shortage, and so folks will make available a home buying program. The programs from your state housing finance agency. I cannot encourage you more than to tell you that you need to go online and find out, both for your state and your local jurisdiction, what programs they have. Most states and local jurisdictions have at least one housing finance program agency. And you want to check in to see what they have.
I got
Okay.
I got a
Who said
flyer
something?
where I live. I got a flyer where I live. There's a program from the county of San Diego with the Housing Commission. It's called Emergency Rental Assistance Program too. I don't know, due to the COVID-19, and they giving money to pay the rent. And I have a flyer with me. They was giving last week where I live here in Studio 15. It's some kind of program from the Housing Commission too.
That's something different, Luis. You may
Oh,
want to reach out to your caseworker. Reach out to Sylvia and she'll help you with that.
oh, okay, thank you.
All right, good. Okay, so for the rest of you though, I would say you may want to look into them. I found them to be helpful. And a lot of times people don't know about it because they don't, the states and the local governments don't have enough money to advertise them. But if you go online and just Google like State Housing Finance Agency or something like that, based on where you are, a lot of times you'll find that they have programs available. So let's get into how does a mortgage work? So the first thing you're going to learn is that you're going to have an amount of the loan, you're going to have an interest rate, and the kind of interest rate can be fixed or adjustable. And the term of the loan is typically 15 years, 30 years, or maybe even, particularly in California, you guys may even have 40 years now. But the one thing you should know is that for the most part around the country, the 30-year mortgage is the most popular. And then we have what's referred to as an amortization schedule. Anybody have any idea what an amortization schedule is?
No.
Okay, well, it's simply a schedule. It's when you get your mortgage, did somebody say something? When you get your amount of mortgage loan, when you sign off on the line, you're going to sign many papers. You're going to get this thing called an amortization schedule. And what it does is it shows from your first payment all the way to how much money, whittling your mortgage amount down. So let's say you had an amortization, let's say you just bought your first home, you got a 30-year mortgage, and you get that amortization schedule. And over time, you've been paying maybe 10, 15 years, and then your grandpa passes away and he leaves you with $100,000. And you want to know, I wonder if I can use this 100 to pay off my house. You can go to that amortization schedule and look at when that 100, when the amount of $100,000 is all you need to pay your loan off. You can go through the schedule because it has it by month, every payment that you make. So that's the schedule. That's an amortization schedule. Did that help? Everybody understand it?
So that's like a future.
Yes,
set
I understand.
schedule?
Okay. Oh, go ahead. What did you say, ma'am?
I don't understand.
It's like a future
Okay.
set schedule. Is that what it is?
Okay. So let me help you. So it's you, let's say you went out and bought a car loan today. You bought a car and you got a car loan. And every month you pay $250 for your car payment, but then there's interest. So the car lender might give you something it could give you something similar to an amortization schedule. It can show you from the first payment how much you paid and what's left. And then it'll go to the next payment. It'll show the amount that you have to pay and what's going to be left. It's really to help you understand how much money you're really paying and how long it's really going to take you to finish paying it. I use it and I like it because I can look at it and decide when at this point, I don't want to pay anymore. So I know this is about the amount I have to pay off, to pay the lender off. Miss Mendez, yes, ma'am.
Oh no, I do that with my car. Yeah. Yeah, I
You
do
did
that with
that?
my car.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still like
Oh,
actually like
okay.
checking on my balance and everything to see what's
Mhm.
going into interest and what is actually being paid off in the vehicle. So yeah,
Right.
it's something good to look into for everyone. It will
So
help you.
did the lender, Miss Mendez, when you got your car, did you get that amortization schedule or did you have to ask for it?
I just ask for it, and then in my statements I can kind of see and track it as well.
Right. But with a loan, a home loan, you can ask the lender and they will send you a full schedule showing from day one all the way through 30
history.
years. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Not the history, because it's not history at that point. It's the calculation that you initiated. It has every single month and date all the way down until you get to that 30 year.
Okay.
It's good for people to know. It's
Yeah.
just good for you to know. Like I said, you may come into some money and you want to pay it off. Okay.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
All right.
I don't understand what this is. It makes no sense.
Is that Jonesy? You don't understand what it is?
No, ma'am, I don't.
Okay.
I
So
can
it's
explain it
just
to
the
you.
doc.
I can explain it to John C. when I meet with her. I'm meeting with
Okay.
her Wednesday, and then we can go over it then. If that's okay with
Okay.
you, John C.
Yes, please.
Okay,
Okay.
honey.
But it's just,
Thank you.
but Johnson, I want you to know it's just a document. That's all it is.
Oh, document. Okay.
Yes, it's a document. It's a document. Right. Comes in paper form. All right.
That
So
for payments on your home
I beg your
is that
pardon?
what it is? For payments on your home?
Yeah, when you get a mortgage loan, yes. Yes. It's just people just
Oh,
like to have an understanding of, how much money they're paying each month. That's all. And it's
oh,
just
okay.
one document. You got it?
Okay. Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay, good. So let's
Thank
talk
you.
about comparing. Oh, sure. Let's talk about comparing loans with different terms. And what do we mean by terms in this setting? Anybody remember what a term is?
How long the loan is?
Absolutely. Very good, Ms. Mendez. It's just how long the loan is. So for the 15-year loan, payment is going to be higher. Anybody know why that payment is going to be higher? Does anybody know why the payment would be higher for the 15-year versus the 30-year?
I think because it's gonna take less to pay it off.
Yeah.
I think.
And then Mr. Buendia, did you have an answer as well? Okay. Yes, it's because that payment is higher, you will pay it off, your home off sooner because you're paying it for 15 years. You're absolutely correct. The 15-year loan, guess what else you're going to save? You're going to save on interest because now you're not having to pay the bank interest on the money that you borrowed for 30 years. You're only going to pay it for half that, 15 years. And I want you to know it's a big difference in the payments, in the interest that you save. And then the last thing is, obviously, we all know you're paying more money, you're saving interest, and you're going to pay it off sooner. Okay. But we should know, since most of us as first-time home buyers have to really get a 30-year mortgage, and that's okay. That's common. So that monthly payment is going to be lower to allow you to get into the home. And over time, you'll build up equity. We'll get to that and talk about that. I think we may have talked a little bit about it in the first session. You're going to pay more interest over the life or the term, life and term mean the same thing, of the loan, because you got that loan longer. You got it for 30 years versus 15 years. Anybody have any questions before I go on? It's making sense?
Can you ever
Okay.
change?
Sure, I can't hear you.
Can
You got to
change
talk
the-
up because I can't hear you.
Can you change the 15-year loan or the 30-year loan to a 15-year loan whenever you want?
Oh, that's a very good question. Okay, so let's say you you know that it's going to take you longer to pay off that 30-year loan. And so what you want to do is switch, because you got a new fancy job and you can afford to pay more. You can go back to your lender or any lender and ask them what the rates are for the 15-year loan. And you can, what we call is refinance the loan. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, as long as you're able to meet the requirements from the lender, you can refinance the loan. And it's a good thing to do, and people do it every day. I've done it. You can do it. You can even go sometimes right now, I think sometimes from a 15 or 30-year loan down to a 10-year loan. It just depends on what the lender is offering. Okay? All right, let's keep going. Amortization. It's the amount you pay each month is referred to as being amortized, whether it's a car loan or whatever kind of loan, but it's being amortized, okay? Amortization schedule shows you how much money each payment goes towards your principal and how much goes towards the interest. If you go online, you probably can find an example of one, maybe. It shows how many payments you have left prior to reach payoff. That's the thing I love about getting that amortization schedule, because it gives me something to hope for. I know when my home is going to be paid off, and I know how many more months I got left before I get there. I got that schedule. Next slide. Getting pre-
I have a question.
Oh, sure. Yes, ma'am. Ms. Haston, yes.
If you were to get a lump sum of money,
Mhm.
is it more helpful to pay off a big chunk of the loan, or to go to like a different schedule, like refinance it and just pay more every month?
So it depends, right? It depends on what the rates are. If the rates are low, I would say put your money in investments and just continue to, if you want to take a little bit off your money and pay some down, but for the most part, if the rates are low, you want to put your money in investments because you're not paying that much on interest, right? And you can earn more.
Oh, okay, sure. Yep, that
Okay.
makes sense.
All right, now Ms. Juanita may differ, but I'll see what she says.
No, I think so too. I'm in the same thought pattern as you.
Good.
I've transferred my hosting duties over to Monica for a bit. I've got to step away for about 5 or 10 minutes, and then I'll be right back.
All right, no problem.
Are you there, Monica?
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you.
Okay, great.
No problem.
All right. Okay, so getting pre-qualified or pre-approved. So a pre-qualification, this used to trip me up when I was a young girl and I was trying to buy a house. I'm like, what's the difference? A pre-qualification is an estimate from the lender. You have to go give your information to the lender. Well, you don't have to go now, you can go online, but you have to provide the lender with your information. And they're going to estimate how much money you may, you notice I have that in red, you may be able to borrow, okay? And it's not an approval for a loan. But if you want to, if let's say the housing market in San Diego is really robust and people are just buying and houses being brought up quickly. So when you make a bid on a property, you got to be ready to roll. You want to get a pre-approval letter. It takes the lender a little more time to determine if you are worthy of getting a mortgage loan, and they'll tell you how much maximum amount of mortgage you should get or qualify for. But it helps you in negotiating. So just remember that. So one is a pre-qual or a pre-qualification. It's just an estimate to give you an idea. But once you get serious, you want that pre-approval. Any question? Miss Tanya? Tania?
Hi, can you get a pre-approval with?
I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Can you get a pre-approval letter before you have the home in mind?
Yes, you can. You can get a pre-approval letter before you have the home in mind. Yes. You will have to, anytime you go to a lender in the housing space and you want them to do something like that, it's an application you fill out and you're going to pay a little bit for that application. But so you want to be, if you're not like, if you're just trying to get an idea, then you may want the pre-qualification. But if you're actually getting ready to go into the housing market and start searching for homes, then it's worth it for you to pay the lender for that pre-approval, because then you have better negotiating power. Does that make sense?
How much do they usually charge for that?
It depends on the lender and the area, but I'm going to say I haven't gotten one in a while, maybe 120, 150 bucks, something like that. If anybody else has gotten one recently. Mr. Willa? Somebody's able, you're okay. All right. Yeah, so you can check, you can Google and check your area just to see the average amount a lender charges for a pre-approval. Did that help?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So you have a worksheet here that is all about comparing loan estimates. And so although I just sort of suggested that you might want to look at bankrate.com because I find it easy to use, but you can really go to any website that, that's able to compare loans estimates. And so loan estimates. And so this is when you're shopping for a mortgage, you can use this worksheet to compare your loan estimates. So lender name A might be Bank of America, lender name B might be Chase Mortgage, and lender name C might be Wells Fargo. And you want to write down the name of the contact information for each of those lenders, the address or phone number. You want to write down the date you received the information. And it's important that you check off whether or not they gave you the estimate based on a conventional mortgage, an FHA mortgage, which I talked about earlier, that's a part of HUD, VA if you're a veteran, or USDA if you live in an area that is rural or considered rural or like rural. The conventional mortgage is just what everybody is able to get. But you have to meet certain qualifications to get that FHA loan. Remember I told you, you have to have low to moderate income. And the VA loan is for veterans, and the USDA, you have to be in a certain geographical area that is primarily targeting rural areas, okay? So when you get this and you get serious, you can take this with you and compare lenders, because some lenders will offer you better products and better interest and better points than others. Everybody got that? All right.
Yes.
So let's, yes, any questions?
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
All right. So let's go to section 2. Remember the key takeaway. make sure you guys understand your loan. Make sure you learn about the various finance options for buying a home. You can get the part 1 from Miss Juanita, as well as this part, and shop around to make sure you get the best deal. Don't take what somebody tells you. Go out and look for it yourself. You know that 3% is lower than 5%, or 6% is lower than 10%. You look for yourself, and be bold about making sure that if you have really good credit, push back on that lender sometimes, because if you have really good credit and you have a good down payment, sometimes those lenders will move off of something. They have to go back and talk to their manager, but that's okay. Miss Accord, yes. You have a
I
question?
have a question. What would you consider being the best, credit union or like a Chase Bank or something like that?
So you have to, the way you consider that is look at the interest rate that's being offered, the points that's being offered, okay, and the term. And you want to go, that's why I mentioned bankrate.com. They will show you all that information. And from that, you'll see that each one is different. And you can look up those that you're talking about. And you can write those down on your worksheet. And you will be able to clearly tell the difference between them. Did that help?
Yes, no, it's because I'm looking to purchase right now as well, and I've just been fluctuating back and forth of what they're telling me, what, you know what I mean, my own research and everything else like that. So that's what I'm.
What I would tell you is probably about 6 or 7 years ago, I signed up with Pentagon Federal Credit Union. And I found them to be wonderful. They are nationwide. And they were, and they had the best rates at that time for a 10 and 15-year mortgage. So I found them to be good, but you want to shop because all the lenders, they change their rates. And so you want to get the best one at the time that you're purchasing. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. And then also too, like some of the things I've been going into, they said 690 is like okay to buy a house, but I'm at a 715 right now. So I do have other options where I'm just in the back waiting, doing the waiting game where they go ask like to give me a better rate and stuff like that, correct?
Good for you. You can do that. Yeah, you can ask them. All they can do is say yes or no. It doesn't kill anybody.
Okay. All right.
Don't be afraid to do that.
No, I've been doing Credit Karma, so they've been telling me like I got my points really up there, like doing what they said and everything like that. So it's at 715, and I've had all my payments on time and stuff like that, and I have a pretty good history. So
good for you. Good. Yes. Push back. I did that one time and it worked. I pushed back on a lender and I said, I got a better deal. You know, if you don't want to take the offer that I want, I got somebody else.
okay, so it's okay to do the negotiation when you're credit score.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but what you need to do is when you working with a lender that gives you a rate, make sure you get it in writing.
Okay, so everything in writing.
Okay. Yes. So if that lender says, "Yep, I can give you this," and then you go and you want to tell the next lender, "Hey, I got a better deal over here. Can you beat this?" That's fine, and it can just be an email.
Okay, cool. Okay, because I wasn't sure about the whole in writing thing, and they're like, "Oh no, my word isn't good," and I'm like, "No, like you know."
No.
Okay, I just want something verified. All right, so always verify it.
If they don't send it to you, they don't send it to you, Amanda. You create the email and send it to them and say, "Did I get this right?" Do something. Just have something on. Okay.
So, quick question on credit.
Yes.
History.
Can you speak up a little?
Yeah, sure. I come to find out that I'm signed up with my bank and Credit Karma.
Okay, thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. So I I'm signed up with, Credit Karma and other credit reporting agency. And when they run my credit for the loan, they basically told me that it's not the same. Is that true? That they're basically saying, hey, what you see on Credit Karma and your bank is not, that's not your true credit. We run different, credit
Yes,
history
they're
and
telling you correctly.
yeah. Okay.
Yes, yes. So you want to
So I
focus
can't
on the
rely
3
on
credit
that.
bureaus. Well, it's what they're doing is they're just trying to give you an estimate, okay? Because the credit bureaus have their own algorithms. They're very different. Each credit bureau has its own. So for instance, you will go to Experian, you want to go to Equifax, and you want to go to, what's the other one that starts with a TransUnion,
TransUnion.
okay? And what you want to do is look at, you're going to see each one of them is likely to have a different score for you. And the reason for that is they each use different algorithms or calculations to measure your score. But I personally think Equifax is one of the better ones because it's easier to read and understand your report, your credit report. So get all 3 of them and then see where you are. Does that help, sir? Can you all still hear me?
Yeah. So I
That help
think
you?
what they told
And
me
the other,
was
go
that
ahead.
that is not well, what they're saying is, let's say with my Credit Karma, I do have them pull all 3 credit, all 3 credit reports from the 3 agencies, including the ones that you just mentioned.
Mhm.
But they're saying when we're pulling, even though you have the same credit reporting numbers from TransUnion, but when we ask for TransUnion, we ask them to pull different kind of credit history. So it's, even though it's the same 3 companies, but when we're talking about mortgage, it's going to be different. The numbers and they pull and the numbers were different. So I have the same 2 different numbers from the same company because the mortgage company decided to pull something, that I don't know what they pull. So it was just a little different. That's what I kind of thought. I don't know if that's what
So
everybody experienced or not.
it could be that the mortgage company has its own. Some companies have their own. That could be it. But Equifax is going to have on that date that you pull, if you pull all 3, Equifax is going to have one, Experian is going to have one, and TransUnion is going to have one. But that mortgage company may add something else to that FICO score and create its own score. And you are entitled to ask them for it if only if they deny you a loan as a result of their score. Anytime you get denied anything in the financial space, you are entitled to ask the company what they use to make that decision, and they must provide it to you. Does that help?
Yep. Thanks.
Okay. Let's go to the next slide. So, we need getting help and buying your home. So you see this picture, this pretty home here. For those of you who know you're going to get a big refund back soon, and for those of you who may have received the previous stimulus money, you may get another stimulus check. We don't know what Congress is going to do, but let's think positive. I would encourage you to put those checks aside, put them in the bank, in a savings account, let them grow a little money until you're ready to purchase your home. And that way you're not really struggling to try to come up with the down payment. A lot of people don't purchase a home because not so much that they can't afford it, but they can't put the money together, the down payment to pay and the closing costs before they get into the home. So think about that and in terms of how you're going to set aside money to take care of purchasing a home. Let's go to the next slide. So the key takeaway is to get help with the home buying process. Interview before you hire help and ask for references, and understand what services you will receive and how much they will cost. By services, we're talking about your realtor, your inspector, whomever. Make sure you understand everything first and you're comfortable. If you are working with someone and they are easily frustrated with you, they don't like answering questions, they don't want to answer you, they don't have time, move along, because there are many, many people in this industry. And so you don't have to deal with them. They may be trying to do something, they don't want you to find out, you don't know, you don't care, move along. It's your money, your hard-earned money, okay? So don't be afraid to move along. So putting your team together. So now you got an idea, picture of a house. Hopefully you have maybe gone somewhere in the next 2 to 3 years. Oops, let me go back. You think you might want to buy a home in the next 2 to 3 years. So you've got a picture in your mind, or you've gone and taken a picture, you put it up on your refrigerator, and you got your plan within 2 years, whether 12 months, 24 months, 36 months, I'm buying a house and I want it to kind of be in this neighborhood or look like this. You want to start putting your team together as soon as you approach a lender to do an evaluation of whether or not you can afford a home. You need a real estate agent. I say get a real estate agent because they have a lot of experience. But I also say try to make sure you know the real estate broker for which the agent works. Because if that realtor is not experienced, doesn't know what they're doing, makes a mess, you need to be able to talk to that broker and let them know. So you get a real estate agent, and who else might play a role in helping you buy a home? Any ideas? Anybody?
Lender?
A lender, yes. Anybody else?
The housing commission.
The who? Housing Commission, yes, that's a good one. Very good, Mr. Buendia. Anybody else? What about your family and friends that have already bought a home? You may want to talk to them. If they bought a home, they can help you. If maybe they bought a home and maybe they had something happen that they didn't like or was uncomfortable, and they can tell you to beware of that. So talk to someone who is that you trust that may have purchased a home that can give you some advice. Okay. So now you get closer to getting this house. What is in and on a house, or make an offer is what we say. You have to provide, there's going to be the address of the home that you want to purchase and a description of the property. There'll be a sales price that you've agreed that you're going to want to pay. The owner will have a sales price, but also you get to make an offer as to whether or not you want to pay for that total amount, or you don't. Depending on what's happening in the market, if you're in a market that's being, people are buying and selling like that, you may want to up the ante on your first. The sale might be $450, but you might say, I want to offer $460 because I really want this house. So think about that. You need to have your target date for closing. We refer to closing and loan settlement as the process, typically, or real estate company, but no, more often than not, it's a title company. And you sit down and sign your life away. That's all it is. So if you hear the term sales closing or you hear the term settlement, it's just a process where everybody comes together, seller, buyer, realtor, and you sign your life away. Yes, Mr. Buendia, do you have a question?
No, I'm listening to you.
Okay, okay, all right. Okay, so we know what a closing is, and we know that it's also called settlement. The amount of earnest money you are offering. Earnest money. Anybody know what earnest money is?
Income?
Your earned
Nobody?
income?
So it's just, you're gonna offer up a little bit of money. Maybe, what was that? I couldn't hear you. Okay, maybe we have a little delay, but it's just the money you're going to offer to the seller. As the buyer, you're going to offer the seller maybe $1,000 or $1,500 earnest money. What you're saying to the seller is, look here, I'm serious. I'm not playing. I'm going to give you this money. And if I don't complete the whole transaction, then you get to keep the money. So that's always required in a home sale transaction. People want to know you're serious. They don't want to waste their time. And usually it's about $1,000 or $1,500. I don't know about San Diego, but that's pretty much the general for most of the country. Okay, so you have that up front. The other thing that's in the offer sometimes is how the taxes and the utilities will be handled. All right. All right. Let's go to the next slide. What else is in an offer? Who pays for title insurance, termite inspections, and property surveys? You probably don't have to worry about a property survey, but you definitely want to get your own inspection, pay for it yourself so that that person knows they are working solely for you, because you don't want to get in a home and find out, you know, now I can't use the bathroom because the sink doesn't work. So you want someone working for you. The title insurance, a lot of times your realtor will turn you on to a good title insurance company because they used to work with them. A good title insurance company is close to the home that you're purchasing. So you might get something like that. In terms of termite inspections and property inspections in general, you want to listen to your realtor as well to get someone good who's licensed. Everybody has to be licensed in this space. You have a walkthrough clause, okay? So let's say that you, Mr. Buendia, let's say that you have a walkthrough date scheduled on December 16th, 2020. And when you walk through, you see that there is water on the floor. Things like that can result in you being able to say, I don't want to purchase this home. Likewise, before you purchase a home, you're always encouraged to get an inspection, okay? And we say, and you guys remember this, get an inspection for your protection. Once you go through the route of getting the inspection of your new fabulous home, if that inspector says in its report, oh, there are too many nails out, or there's something going on with the electric system, immediately you can say, I don't want the house, and you get your earnest money deposit back. Anything, even if the inspection is perfect, if after you go through that, get paying for that inspection, If you change your mind, you can get your money back because you had an inspection. Just you want the house, okay? So that's the only time really that you can get your money back. It's after that inspection. What else is in the offer? The date that the offer expires. So if you're presenting an offer, it's not like you got forever to pay the seller for their house. If you're presenting the offer, you want to tell them the date that the time frame in which everything is going to be done, so they know as well, because they've got to be able to get all their things out the house and prepare for closing, yada yada yada. Contingencies. Sometimes you will say, a lot of times you're going to say one of your contingencies is going to be, I need to get an inspection. So that could be a contingency. Everything is contingent upon me getting my inspection. If the family home had termites, you want to say, I also want to make it contingent upon a new termite inspection. You can ask for certain things that's contingent upon what happens, then I'll take the house. Those are your contingencies. Special request. A special request could be something as simple as, I need 30 days more. This is the seller asking you, or do you mind us having 30 days more to from the time of closing to move? Maybe they've got kids, they got to move to a different state. That can be a part of your offer. You're saying, yes, I agree to your request for the 30-day extension to be in the home. And any other terms. Maybe you like the living room sofa and it fits perfectly and it looks great and it happens to match your furniture. You can offer that up in the offer. I would like to purchase the such and such a item. Could we have a conversation about how much I would have to pay for that? Okay. All right. Any questions? Everybody good? All right. You guys are sharp. So you've made the offer. In response, the seller may accept your offer. Good thing. We're all happy. Or they may reject your offer and make a counter offer. Okay, so maybe you didn't offer them enough, or maybe they're not comfortable, or maybe they have someone in the wing that has offered them more, so they want you to pay more. Or they can just reject your offer and not make a counter offer. They can just say, we don't want to sell it. We've changed our minds, or we think we're going to just go with these other two people, whatever. They can reject your offer. All these things are legal, okay? Home inspection. Can anybody tell me what I told you? Why are you getting an inspection? What is it for?
For your protection.
For your protection, yes. The most important step in protecting you in purchasing your new investment, that's probably the biggest investment you'll ever make, is for your protection. You want an in-depth. You don't want somebody running in that house and running out in 15 minutes. You want to make sure that they go through every nook and cranny, because once you buy that house, it's on you. So get a good inspector who has a good reputation, who's licensed. You want an in-depth, unbiased. Can anybody tell us what unbiased means? You want an unbiased look at the house. Mr. Abdul Karam.
Yeah, I think that would be somebody who would give you honest
Yes, right.
assessment.
They don't have any game and they have nothing in this. This is just for you because you're paying them, right? So you want to look at the home to evaluate the physical condition, meaning exterior and interior, identify items that need repair or replacement. You want that inspector to estimate remaining useful life of major systems. Can anybody tell me what a major system might be? Miss Amanda, what's a major system in a house? She not with us? We're
Air
not on
conditioning unit.
Yes, very good. Air conditioning unit, heating unit, any equipment, any structure, any finishes, okay? In this case,
Foundation.
yes, foundation is good. When I was buying my first home, I picked out a beautiful townhome here in Maryland. It was in a nice area, nice school district, and the price was right, and it was beautiful. And my inspector, who was really good, he said, okay, Ivory, you're like 26, right? Do you have enough money to replace a roof in 2 to 3 years? And I said, absolutely not. He said, well, I know you love this house and it's in great condition. However, the roof that's on this house has been known to deteriorate quicker because of the type of substance they use when the roof was made to keep people in townhouses from the one roof person spreads, all the roofs burn and the houses burn down. He said that type of product during this time frame of the type of roof that you have on this house, they deteriorate fast. And so you might move in and you may never have a problem with the roof, but you also need to know that you might move in and within 2 years, you got to buy a new roof. So you want somebody to tell you the truth and be looking out for your best interest. And that helped me because I made a decision not to purchase that home. And it was a good one, okay? So for your protection, get an inspection. Closing on the home, your last step. You are in your last step of the home buying process. You're all giddy and happy as you should be. The loan is final. The funds have been distributed to all the people who's supposed to have them. And congratulations, you now own your own home. So what are all these documents that Miss Ivory that I just talked to you about? I said you're going to sign your life away. Everybody remember that? I said that because you're going to have document upon document upon document to sign. You're going to have a closing document. You're going to have an initial escrow statement. That's just information about the deposits that you've made and things like that. You're going to have a promissory note. That's where you sign on the dotted line saying, I promise to repay this debt. All mortgage lenders are going to require that. If it's a husband and wife and you both sign, that means if you divorce and the agreement was he was going to pay and not you, you are also responsible, not for half, for whole. So both people signing that promissory note need to be clear that they're both responsible for that total mortgage amount. No halves. The lender is not taking sides. Whoever signed, they're going to be required to pay. Okay. You're going to have payment option information. Does anybody remember the information I gave you about payment option earlier in this today? I said, when you get your mortgage, you have payment options. What was one of the options?
It was the schedule. I forgot how to pronounce the first word.
Okay, the amortization schedule.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, but the option for your payment is not the schedule. The option is that payment option is that you can ask the lender that to bill you bi-monthly. If you get paid bi-monthly, you can ask them to bill you bi-monthly. You may have to pay a little teeny fee, but it's not that much. You'll be saving so much money. Hey, I want to pay bi-monthly. You take the money on out, or you can write the check, but I would say let them take the money out, and you will have, at the end of the year, you will have paid off your loan a little more because you're paying more. When you pay bi-monthly, you end up, as opposed to paying 12 months of payments, you've paid 13. So you go into year 2 already ahead. Okay, remember that. That's why I highlighted it. Also, the other thing that you're going to get at closing, you're going to get your mortgage and you're going to get the security instrument. That's the thing that they give you that when you finally finish paying, they stamp it paid in full. It's the deed, the security, they're different names for it. Okay. All right. Help when you're in trouble. It is natural for us when we're in trouble to bury our head, not talk to anybody, and to be deflated, right? But in the lending space, trust me on this one, I work with enough mortgage lenders over my lifetime. You need to call your lender immediately when you realize that you're not going to be able to make your mortgage payment on time. They need to know because they can help you. Once you start spiraling and get to a certain point that you've gotten so far behind, they can't help you. Once they start spending money on that foreclosure attorney, they're not likely to help you because they can't get that money back. So when you know, hey, I've lost my job and the reason I wasn't able to pay my mortgage is because the job that I have now, I'm not making as much. They will talk you through whether or not they can give you a modification. I don't recommend people buying homes if they're not really ready to purchase, but I do recognize that things happen in life. We can lose a job, we can be in a car accident and not be able to work. You need to call your lender as soon as possible and ask them, what is it that they might have available? If you've been paying your loan regularly all along, you can be assured almost 100% of the times that that lender is going to try to help you in some way. If that lender doesn't help, look for a HUD approved housing counseling agency. Not a housing counseling agency, but a HUD approved one, because we have vetted that agency and we know that they provide good service. You can find them online. Also, someone mentioned earlier about the State Housing Finance Agency. That's another one. They're in your state. Everybody has one. They're in your state and they have programs and things to help people too who are in trouble. So this is our last slide. Get help with the home buying process. Interview anybody you hire, realtor, inspector. You talk to them, make sure you're comfortable, and ask for references. I am the reference queen. I am the reference queen. When we did a remodel of our kitchen, I met 6 people and I asked for references. The last guy that gave me references, he gave me 10 references and I checked all 10. But that man did a beautiful job on our kitchen. We didn't have any problem because he had a good reputation. So get references and don't be afraid to ask people for references. And if a person doesn't want to give you a reference, drop them. Drop them immediately. Understand which services you will receive and how much they will cost before you sign a service agreement that you're going to pay Mr. So-and-so $200 to do your home inspection, or you're going to, or Mrs. Smith, who's your realtor, is going to make 6% on the interest. Make sure that's in writing. Any questions from today's session? So you guys can unmute. Did this help you in any way?
Yes, this was very beneficial for me, Miam, but I just have one question. Are there any programs allocated for veteran children, like surviving children, do you know, to buy a home?
I would say check with the VA. I don't know. They may have. I don't know. But go online to VA when you get a chance and see what they may have. They may have something. And what you can do is you can look for a when you go to VA, look, see if you can find, or when you go online rather, see if you can find mortgage companies that take VA loans, and then call a couple of them to say, I'm not a veteran, but my father or my mother was, and they're deceased. Do you all have any programs for someone like me? And if they don't have the programs, they may be able to refer you to someone. So you won't know if you don't ask.
Okay, that's good information because my son's father, he's a veteran, so I don't know if he'll be entitled to any of those benefits, but that's good. I didn't know I could call the VA. Thank you.
Well, if your son's father is a veteran, he would have to be he would have to be the one to get the loan.
Oh yeah, for his son.
Yes, it would have to be in his name, and it would have to be in his father's name.
Okay, well, he's still 12. So.
Jonesy was talking about someone that passed away, right, Jonesy?
I think she left.
Okay, I think she was talking about because her parents passed away, her father passed away. So
Oh,
that
okay.
was, the situation was a little
I'm
different.
so sorry, ma'am. So the meeting kicked out, but what were you saying? Go to VA?
Yeah,
And
I was saying check, just no, not go to
I'm
VA.
sorry.
I was saying go online to find out which lenders work with veterans. And then when you call one, ask them or tell them your situation. I think you said your father passed away. And
I'm
he
a
was
surviving beneficiary or something like that.
right. Asked if he was a veteran. He was a veteran. Asked if as your you being a dependent of his, could you know, is there some program that they have for kids of veterans who are deceased? That was my question. Okay, I don't know. They may or they may not.
In order to get the to qualify for a first-time home buyer, do you need to take a class for that?
No.
So no. Oh,
No,
okay.
you don't. You just need to tell your lender. You need to talk to the lender when you go to any lender you go to. Have them run a when they run a analysis on whether or not you qualify for a home loan. Have them do one on a conventional loan and on an FHA loan, so you can compare the difference. So you can see, well, am I paying more money over here? Am I paying more money over here? Which one do I want? Okay, so you can pick for yourself.
And just as an FYI, Ivory, here some of the lenders require the 8-hour home buying workshop where they get a certificate for it.
Oh,
that's it. That's
it.
Yeah.
They're going to go in to get low income down.
Okay, that's new. Okay, good. Okay, that's a good thing. All right, I didn't know
I have
that.
a question for Juanita. Juanita.
Yes.
My question is, so since we're participating in this home buying workshop right now, this is a second phase or second class. After the third one, do we receive the certificate? Or
we can check with Ivory, see if we can get you certificates for attending these, because they are HUD. She is a HUD staff member. So
yeah, but we don't. The best I could do is give you something maybe in right, but we don't really do that. That's tough because someone else had asked me that, but we don't do it. Juanita, I would be willing if you drummed up something and you signed it or something. You know, I'm comfortable with signing
because
it.
because it would benefit the participant, right?
Right.
Yeah, I know. I've had this question asked a couple of times, but we don't do that.
Where do we go for the first time home buyer class?
I can send you information on that. It's usually Urban Core, it's a Credit One, and there's a couple of other agencies that offer it.
Okay.
Okay. Can you send that to me as well?
Who is this?
Marissa. No, it's Marissa. Marissa Mendez.
And just as an FYI, folks, I am a HUD certified housing counselor. So I'm just waiting for our agency to be able to provide the certificates, and then all the classes that you've taken with me, I could then do a certificate. So I'm still, we're in the process right now. I've passed the test. I'm just waiting for HUD to give us all of those, the go-ahead.
Credentials.
Yeah, but right now it's happening with the COVID and everything. Everything's been like on hold.
Yeah.
So, we do have, I am certified, so I'm just waiting for the credential.
Juanita,
Okay, so
I had a question as well.
Sure.
With that certification that you give us as first-time home buyers, participants in the class, how do you know we participated, or are you taking attendance, or how?
That's why we're asking for you to put your name in the participant check section. And I'm always asking, who is this? What's your name? This is
Okay,
how we track who attends.
okay, perfect.
right.
So
All right.
without
Wait,
your name,
we get a
I don't know
certificate?
who attended.
So you have,
We're getting a certificate?
We're looking
Yes.
into it, John C. Yeah, we're looking to see how we can do that. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And
Well, somebody had a question for Juanita?
Marissa Mendez just sent the calhfa.ca.gov
Yes.
home buyer programs. My home is that. What is that website?
California, so for the state of California, all the home buying programs that exist, but then remember that the city also has programs and then lenders also have programs. So
Okay.
as I stated in the beginning, when we started the workshop, we are having a workshop next week with one of the lenders that does the 1% down. So they have a home buying program that you only have to put 1% down. And
That's great.
there's no mortgage insurance attached.
Oh,
So
that's wonderful.
it's wonderful. And so they're giving us a workshop on the 14th. So that's
Good.
next week.
So
So
you guys should
is
attend
that going
that.
to be on Zoom, or is that going to be
it's a
in?
Zoom. It's a Zoom
Okay.
meeting.
Perfect.
Good.
Okay, you will let us know for that, right? You will send us notification? Okay.
I email everybody that if you
Yeah.
guys email today, then you'll get the email when that one's coming up too.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Well,
Yes,
I
thank you.
wish all of you the best in your home buying process. It's exciting. And again, I hope you can leverage your tax income refund check and
Yeah.
hopefully some of the stimulus package money to put together to help you. So best of luck to you. And I hope that I'll hear from Juanita about how some of you are doing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thanks for
Thank
attending.
you, ma'am.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Juanita.
Bye, Ivory.
All right, you guys take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Miss Juanita.